Disability in the UK.
But now a new project is aiming to get robots to help stroke patients regain their movement. It comes on the same day as an announcement on a £400 million plan to develop robotics in the UK. Here's our health correspondent, Dominic Hughes.
How was your leg when you first had your stroke?
Oh, it's bad when I first had it.
And what can you do now that you couldn't do before?
Well, I can walk with Peter in the house, you know, and go up and down the steps and that. I couldn't do that before.
Like thousands of people who've had a stroke, Anne Hopwood is undergoing physiotherapy. She wants to regain the movement lost on the right side of her body when she fell ill last November. The repetitive exercises are designed to get the brain and arm to communicate again after being damaged by the stroke.
20.
You've got to keep that back nice and straight, don't hunch up.
But now robots like this one offer the chance of a revolution in stroke rehabilitation. At North Tyneside Hospital, Tom Means is working with a state-of-the-art robot. Again, he's practicing repetitive movements by trying to hit the dots on the screen. But the robot can accurately gauge how much movement he has and how strong his arm is becoming, helping Tom back to an independent life.
The more you can do for yourself, the more independent you can become. And I want to remain independent. I've got to admit that some days it's harder than others. This treatment, along with ordinary physiotherapy, can only do me the world of good.
This technology has already proven its worth in the United States, but this is the first time it's been tried and tested here in the UK. And it's hoped it really will help with the rehabilitation of people who have suffered a stroke. But it's just the latest example of how technology is developing to improve patient care. Increasingly, the NHS is using robots to deliver food, dispense drugs, even to carry out operations. But every year in the UK, 110,000 people have a stroke, and 85% of them will be left with restricted movement in the arm.
This could mean they have problems dressing themselves, washing, making a cup of tea. Robot-assisted training means that all of the movements that stroke patients make will be recorded by computer. And this offers the advantage over traditional physiotherapy and occupational therapy, that the clinicians and scientists can see better what's going on with that improved information and make better decisions.
So really stretch your arm out as you go.
For those like Tom, this new technology offers the chance of an improved recovery from what was once, not too long ago, a devastating illness.
So I'm feeling tired yet?
Getting tired now.
Dominic Hughes, BBC News, North Tyneside Hospital.
We can speak now to Professor Helen Rogers, who is leading the research. Morning to you, Professor Rogers. We can actually see the robot behind you in action at the moment. What exactly is it doing there?
What a robot does is enable people who can't move their arm to practice tasks, and we know that repeating tasks is really important to improve outcome after stroke. So it's really good at helping people practice movements that they aren't able to do themselves.
And why is it so important to re-establish that type of arm movement for a stroke patient?
Again, it's about reconnecting your brain and your arm after a stroke. So it's really important to practice movement. You know, as with a child learning, it's about practicing something and practicing something that's interesting and enjoyable. So people who are partaking in our research study are coming to do these exercises for an hour, three times a week for 12 weeks. And we're looking within our study to see if that improves their ability to use their arm compared to the same intensity of rehabilitation provided by a therapy team, and also to see how much better people who receive this type of rehabilitation, whether their outcomes are better than people who receive usual care.
So what would be the current practice now for people who have suffered a stroke, who are going into rehab? Would that be a physiotherapy with a human being?
Yeah, people will see a physiotherapist or occupational therapist as part of a multidisciplinary team. They should be receiving 45 minutes of therapy each day in order to improve their outcomes, and it will be different types of approaches, but we're now looking at a very standardized approach that's been used in the States to see how this can be used to help people here in the NHS.
So how would a robot make it better?
If you've had a stroke and you can't move your arm, it's very difficult to have repeat practice of movements. And what a robot does within a treatment session is enable you to move your arm in a specific movement hundreds of times. So it's actually enabling many more repetitions than would be possible within current therapy. And it seems that practice and a number of repetitions is really important to improving people's ability to use their arm after stroke.
Professor Helen Rogers, thank you very much indeed for your time this morning.
Let's see, time now is 8:50.